You have gifts. You were brought into this world and you have talents. All right. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? I can't hear you. So you heard a little bit about me in that bio, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself through my story. So I'm standing here. You see one person. But who you do not see here is my abuelito, Don Chuy, my abuelita, Maria, my mom, Rosa Maria, my 3 siblings, and my whole hood of Inglewood, California. Now, how many of you have heard of Inglewood before? Inglewood. What do they say? What do they say? Inglewood. Up to a lot of good. That's what we're up to. So I'm here today to talk to you all and tell you one message. My message today is that you are one of one. What does that mean to say that you are one of one? Have y'all heard of that before? You are one of one. Now, there's a lot of people in here. How are you one on one, right? So let me tell you a little bit of how I learned about the importance of understanding that you are one of one. So I'm going to take you back 20-something years. I was like 7 years old. My mom was like, Stephanie, arréglate, get ready. You're going to your grandparents' house. And I was like, ugh. Again, I'm always at my grandparents' house. I'm always at my abuelito's. Who relates? Who hangs out with their abuelito's house all the time? Right? No? Some of y'all might. I hear some hands up, right? What I didn't know was what I was about to learn being at my abuelito's house all the time. My abuelitos lived 2 blocks away. And when I was 7, my mom on a Friday night would take me to my abuelito's house and I would help my abuelito make chorizo. How many of y'all like chorizo? Yeah, I heard, oh yeah, yes, right? So I love chorizo. I eat my chorizo con frijoles, con huevos, a burrito, breakfast. And it was really much more than that to me. Because my grandpa, a bracero, my grandpa, a farm worker, my grandpa who grew up without a mom, who grew up homeless, who grew up in a rancho de Zacatecas. Do we have anybody from Zacatecas here? Hey, arriba Zacatecas. So my grandpa would bring me into a little back room and he would say, I'm going to teach you how to make chorizo today. And I remember thinking, what do I need to, I don't want to make chorizo. I want to be a doctor. What do I need to make chorizo? And I would make, I don't know if y'all know how to make chorizo, but they put the pork, which is like grinded pork kind of meat, with a lot of spices, and it's savory. And you put them into these intestines. And then you'd make little bolitas, little balls out of it, right? And I was the person that would put the chorizo inside the intestines. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. And on Friday, we would make the chorizo. On Saturday, we would hang it up outside. You have to let it dry. And it would smell, it would stink up the whole house. Chorizo all weekend. And then on Sunday, my grandpa would take me to go sell it. And I would knock on doors. I would knock on doors. And guess what? I was a great seller. I would go up to the door. I was 7 and 8. My grandpa would wait in the car. I would have a bag of chorizo. And I would say, ¿Quieren comprar chorizo? Right? And people would be like, who is screaming outside of my door if they wanted to buy chorizo? And I was fearless. I would speak to anyone who ever opened the door. You could be 7, you could be 15, you could be 25, you could be a grandparent. I was gonna sell you chorizo. I was gonna make sure that I was gonna help my family make some profit, right? And so here I was, 7, 8, 9 years old, 3 years into the game. I'm good at making chorizo. I don't know about y'all, but this could be a good skill for me, right? Making this chorizo. What I did not know was happening. What I did not know was happening behind the scenes was this. My mom was actually sending me to my grandparents' house to get away from what was happening at home, right? I went to my grandparents' house because they have food. I went to my grandparents' house because there was a bed. I went to my grandparents' house because I didn't have to see my parents fighting. I didn't have to see the abuse. I didn't have to see the alcoholism. I didn't have to see the drugs, even though I knew it existed, right? At that time, going to my grandparents' house saved me, right? I had the love, I was learning something, and I was getting away from what was happening at home. And all of a sudden, I realized when my dad left my house and never came back, right? When my dad left, my mom became a single mom. She had to work. She's a school bus driver, so shout out school bus drivers in here. Yes? She's a school bus driver, but then she had to take up more jobs because she was a single mom of 4. So I would go with her at 5 in the morning sometimes on Saturdays, and we would go to downtown LA to go buy flowers. And I would help her make flowers, and we would go to the street, we would sell the flowers. Or sometimes I would go with her to go help clean houses, right? How many of y'all help your parents do things at home? How many of you, yeah, I see hands. I see hands, yes, right? I used to be like, oh, no quiero ir a limpiar, right? I would have to go clean somebody's house, right? I would go see these beautiful homes, and I would go back to my house and be like, ooh, right? Like, I want that. How do I get that? Why do I go clean these houses and I come back to my house, right? I would remember that. But again, one time, I was with my grandpa, and I'll never forget this, and I have to share this with you all. I was with my grandpa, and again, I was knocked on a door. By this time, I felt courage. I was like, I know this game. I know how to sell chorizo. Instead of selling the chorizo at 4 bolitas for $1, I was like, I'm going to increase the prices for my grandpa. Yep, 3 bolitas por $1, 3 for $1. And I sold them. And I came back running to my grandpa's truck. And I'm like, look, I got $2 extra. $2 extra. Why aren't you selling this for more? You could be making more money. He was so mad. And you would think, wait, why wasn't he happy that he was getting more money? Why? And then I realized a lesson, a strong lesson. He was mad. He was like, this chorizo is my business, but it's not about me making money. This is community. The people who you're selling to cannot afford to pay that money. I am making this for my people, for my community, and this is the price, and it won't change. It will not change because people trust me. People come to me and they know they can get it for that, right? And I was like, I'm just trying to make you money, abuelito. Like, I don't understand why you're so upset, right? And I'm like, I was like, I don't even want to go sell anymore. I just got in trouble for being a hustler. How did I get in trouble for being a hustler, right? And so then I go home and I tell my mom, look, I'm done. I'm no longer going to be selling the chorizo for my grandpa. I'm over it. He got mad at me for making him money. And she's like, you don't get it. You don't get it. You will one day. But what I want you to know is that you are great at it. She said, you are great at talking to people. My grandpa would always tell me, and that's what he told me and sat me down. He said, Mika, you are, in Spanish he said it, but I'll say it in English, you are one of one. There is nobody like you in this world. Nobody has the experiences that you do. Nobody has the story that you do. You are one of one. And I didn't get it. I still didn't get it. What do you mean I'm one of one? What does he mean I'm one of one? Now I'm going to take you to the moment where I got it. About 12 or so years later, right? I graduated, first person in my family to graduate from UCLA. Fight, fight, fight. How many of you heard of UCLA before? Yeah, I got some hands up. All right, I'm okay. So I went to UCLA, I graduated, and I get a knock from a friend that says, do you want to work for President Barack Obama? And I said, me? Stephanie? This girl from Inglewood from the hood? Work for President Obama where? Florida. I think you're great at organizing. I've seen you knock on doors. I've seen you talk to people. I see the way that you can get people to a room. Do you want to work for President Barack Obama? And I said, sign me up. Where do I go? Right? Where do I go? So I get on a flight. First time I leave LA, I get on a flight to South Florida. South Florida, Broward County. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. They put me to run President Barack Obama's field office in Broward County. Now, here I am. I'm like 22, maybe 23 years old. I got my own office. I'm working for President Barack Obama. I made it. But then I looked around. And I looked around again. And there was no Latina, Latino, or Latinx person. Zero. No one spoke Spanish. No one grew up in the hood. No one grew up poor like I did. Nobody grew up in the same way or the same story that I had. How? How is that possible, I thought? How is it that I'm the only one up here? Why am I the only one up here? Where are we? Why aren't we here? I kept asking myself over and over. And for the next 6 months, I had no days off. Not one. When you work for a political campaign, let me tell you, you have 0 days off. You work 12 to 16-hour days, nonstop. I slept on the couch at the office. That's how much I worked, right? 6 months, and guess what happened to me one day? They placed me to go organize in a Haitian and a Cubano community because 2 other organizers were scared to go to the neighborhood and knock on doors. Scared to go to the neighborhood to knock on doors. Was I scared? Was I scared? No, I was not scared. Why was I not scared? Why was I not scared? Why do you think I wasn't scared?
Because you had experience as a little kid.
What was my experience?
Knocking on doors.
I had experience. My grandpa, del rancho, el choricero, right? Don Chuy, did not know this, but he was training me to work for the President of the United States. He was training me, listen to that, someone that did not even go to 2nd grade. He didn't even make it to 2nd grade because he had to work, right? Was training his granddaughter to work for President Barack Obama. That's powerful. So I look at you, and I remember thinking, my grandpa, when I was knocking on doors, and I would go to organize, and sometimes I got a gun pulled out on me. I did. It was crazy. And then other times, things like this happened. I'd open the door, and this young girl, I never forget her, Adriana, opened the door. She probably shouldn't have opened it. She was pretty young. I was a stranger. She opened it. She opened it and said, "You work for the President of the United States?" And I was like, "Yeah." Because I had my little, Barack Obama little badge and my shirt and my swag. And she's like, "You work for President Barack Obama?" And I said, "Yes." I'm kind of like, "Yes, I do. I do." And then she said, "But you look like me." And I'm like, yeah, I'm Latina, I speak Spanish, what's up, girl, And she's like, "No, I never knew that you can do that." And I sat there and literally tears filled my eyes. And I realized I'm one of one, right? I am one of one. I am one person, and I am unique, and I have gifts, and I have talents, and I have a story, But so does Adriana. She is one of one too. And until she saw me knock on that door, she didn't realize that either. So I sat and her mom came to the door. I talked to her for a long time. She had questions about how do I work for a president? I was like, you could volunteer. Come knock on doors with me. And so for the next 2 months after school, Adriana came with me and she knocked on doors with me. She volunteered. She helped to put data into computers. She started to learn the strategy about grassroots organizing in communities, right? And I realized that moment that my purpose in life was going to be to get more of you, and you to positions like that. That I was going to work tirelessly to make sure that I am not the only one knocking on those doors, that I'm not the only one at this table, that I'm not the only one in this position, as you just heard earlier, right, from the CEO and the speakers who shared that they were the first, but not the last. So for the last 10 years, what have I dedicated my life to? What have I dedicated my life to? I want you all to stand up. I'm going to show you what I do. Stand up real quick. All right, you can put your stuff down on your chair. If you don't want to stand up, you can do it sit down. I want you to be able to see me, okay? So what I want you to do is fold your arms. Like this. Right here. Okay, all right, let's see. Does everybody have their hands folded? All right, is your right hand over your left or your left over your right? I don't know. This is your left over your right. Left over right. Okay, what about you?
Right over left.
Right over left. Okay, what about you?
Right over left.
Right over left. Okay, everybody pay attention to your arms, right? You see it? Okay, now I want you to let go. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Shake it out, come on, shake it out. Now I want you to do the opposite. If you did right over left, I want you to do left over right. Woo, some of y'all are pausing. I see it. You're like, wait a minute, but I'm confused. Let's see it. Do you have it? Did you do it? Okay, how does it feel?
Weird.
Weird. How does it feel?
Weird. Weird.
Everybody says weird. What, let me see your arms. Is one arm longer than the other? No? Then what do you think it is? Is your arm longer than the other? Maybe. No, but I like your nails. Ooh, the nail game is strong. What do you think it is? What makes it feel weird? How you put it, right? Do you feel weird? How do you feel? You good? Yes, you feel good. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, now I want you to let go. Fold your arms again. Did you go back to number 1 or number 2 position?
Number 1.
Ooh, number 1. Raise your hand if you went back to number 1. Number 1, position number 1. A lot of y'all did. How many of y'all went back to position number 2, the new one? Ooh, high five. Look at that. I like that. All right, I shake it out. Sit, have a seat. I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit about this. Why did I do that activity? What is that showing y'all? Ooh, somebody said it over here. Was it you? Go ahead. Your name, please?
My name is Haiti, and it's how we react to change.
How we react to change. Say more. Tell me more.
Well, at first we kind of started doing our arms like how we would normally, and then when we changed it up, we obviously felt weird, and then afterwards, some of us decided to go back to our own way, and some of us decided to stick with the new way.
Mm-hmm. Some of us went with the stick with the new way, and someone went back to the old way. Most of y'all did what I did. I went back to the old way. Why? I was comfortable. This is what I know. I didn't even think about it. Before today, raise your hand if you thought about what hand goes over the other hand when you fold your arms. Have you thought about that before? No, one of y'all did. Well, you've thought about it before? I love that. So maybe I see another hand over there. You've thought about like my right over my left? Most of us have not thought about what arm do I put in front of the other. Why? It's subconscious. We just do it. You just do it, right? Not until I told you and I made you aware of what you were doing did you now think, I got to do the opposite this time. Ooh, that feels weird. Ooh, I'm not used to this, right? But I guarantee you, if you were to practice that over and over and over again, you wouldn't even think about it. Your left over your right or vice versa would not feel uncomfortable anymore. Would not feel uncomfortable anymore. And that is what I do for a living. I help people like you and you and you understand your greatness. Understand what you're good at. Understand that going to college is not the goal. Whoop! I said it. Going to college is not the goal. What I want the goal to be for you, and you heard it earlier, I want you to be happy. I want you to be fulfilled. I want you to wake up and love what you do. Do you see me? Does it look like I love what I do? Yeah. How do you know that I love what I do? Okay, what do you think? You don't know, you just kind of feel it. You feel it? What do you think I love what I do? Yeah. Do you see my body? Do you see my eyes when I talk about this? Do you see my body language? Right? When you do something you love, you feel it. But unless you are aware, unless you are thinking about it, my left over my right over my left, you won't know. You will not know. You will go through life trying to check a box. Graduate, college, major, job, money, family, right? Or whatever it is you want, right? People go through their lives all day, every day, living for somebody else. Living for somebody else's dream. And don't think about what makes me happy. What am I great at? So I'm here to tell you today that you are one of one. You have gifts. You were brought into this world and you have talents. Sometimes we don't see it. My grandpa didn't see it. At that time, I didn't see that he was training me to work for President Barack Obama, but he was teaching me things that I could never learn in a book. He was teaching me things that I could never learn in college. He was teaching me things I could never learn in a class because I got an A, right? And that is exactly what you're doing right now. Your mom, your dad, your abuelito, your tia, your neighbor, your school bus driver, your janitor, they are teaching you things about who you are and what you love. And it's up to you to listen to your body. Listen to your heart. What is it telling you? This is what I knew when I was young. I knew this. I knew that I was great at talking to people. I knew that I was fearless at talking to anybody. Remember? Knock on door. I didn't have no fear, right? I knew that I was always in the class. My teacher would always say, she's great, but she talks a lot. My mom used to be like, ay, pues siempre estás hablando en la clase. Little did she know that was a gift. Excuse me, mother. But talking in class is a gift, right? It is a gift. And I didn't know how to cultivate it. I had to realize that it was a gift. So I'm asking you today, what are your gifts? What are you good at? You are good at something. And oftentimes we live in a world where they only value certain skills, certain professions, certain gifts. And a lot of people, brown people, black people, right? People of color are oftentimes not given the value of their gifts, of your culture. Your culture is a gift. Your culture gives you talents. My culture allowed me to go into that Cuban community and get along with them, connect with them on a level that nobody else had, right? And it was a gift that I knew how to harness. So I'm gonna have you all, this last minute, I want you all to stand again. And we're gonna say something together, an affirmation together. I want us to stand up. I'm gonna say it and you're gonna repeat it back. Are we ready? Are we ready? Yes, all right. Here we go. I am one of one. There is no one like me. I am one of one. I am one of one. Louder. I am one of one. I have gifts. I have talents. I have community. I have the person next to me. I have the person, look at the next, the person next to me. You might not have somebody right there. Again, you are one of one. Say it one more time with me. I am one of one. What are you going to do with your gifts? I want you to think about it today. As you stand right now, look to your left and look to your right. The people who you least think are teaching you something are teaching you something. Okay? I want you to meet them today. If you don't know somebody, meet somebody new. If you have not said hello to somebody new, say hello to them right after this. You are today spending your Saturday here. That's so dope. You get to spend your Saturday on a college campus with a bunch of college students. Shout out to my sorority sisters over there. Woo, yes. Y'all see that? I just met them, but we're connected because I'm also in that sorority at UCLA, right? So meet each other, connect with each other. You are all you got. We got to help each other out, right? Thank you. You have gifts. You were brought into this world and you have talents.